Happy day, children. This is class 5 SST, chapter number 18, Freedom Struggle, part 2. So, in part 2, we will study still more acts and movements which happened before independence and how India got independence in the year 1947. Okay, so after Simon Commission in the year 1928, immediately after 1929, Lahore session happened. Okay, so this happened in today's Pakistan area at Lahore. This was the annual session of the Congress which happened. Okay, this was led by Jawaharlal Nehru, and in Lahore session he was elected as the president of Indian National Congress. And in this session, the Indian National Congress they took decision. Okay, they took many decisions, and two of them were very important, which happened in this session. Okay, first one is 26th of January should be celebrated as independence every year, and the second one is the civil disobedience movement has to be launched in 1930. Next, I'll tell you what is civil disobedience movement. Before that, about this Lahore session, it happened in the year 1929, and complete independence was the main motto of this Lahore session. So they demanded Purna Swaraj. Purna Swaraj means complete independence. So every year they decided to celebrate 26th January as a Independence Day. Okay, so this was happened before 1947. So only by 1947 we got independence from the Britishers, but before itself this Indian National Congress under the freedom fighters they decided to celebrate themselves from 1929 26 January. Okay, so later after Lahore session, civil disobedience movement was started in the year 1930. So what is civil disobedience movement? It's nothing but again we should protest against the Britishers, and we should not follow the policies or rules which is decided by the Britishers. Okay, we should not cooperate with the British government. So Gandhiji started this famous movement, and this is called as Dandi March. He started civil disobedience movement with the famous march, famous protest called Dandi March. It was so famous because in those time in the year 1930 the Britishers they decided to increase the tax on the salt. Okay, the people who produced more salt, even though they worked hard in their land for producing salt, they need to more pay more tax for the Britishers to sell the salt whichever they made. So this was opposed by Gandhiji and many Indian leaders. So they thought to protest against the Britishers against this tax. Okay, because Gandhiji said air, water, or the basic needs of the people, and apart from that, salt is very important, right, children? So when we eat without salt, can we eat for many days? Is it possible? No, right? So we know that salt is very important, and if we pay more tax for the poor people to the to the Britishers, it's not good, right? So this was opposed more by Gandhiji, and that's why he started this Dandi March in Gujarat. So from Sabarmati Ashram, he decided to start a protest, and he reached Dandi on April 6th. So from on March 12th, he started his protest, and till April 6th, he was walking. So by walking itself, he reached Dandi in a place, and there he broke the salt law, and he took the salt and he threw it in the sea water. So this was the beginning of the civil disobedience movement. And in this after this moment, many people they were sent to jail for not obeying the law which was proposed, which was proposed by the Britishers, and they were taken to the prison. After this Dandi March, immediately next year there is a sign between or agreement between Gandhiji and Irwin. So Irwin was a general, British general during that time. So that is called as Gandhi Irwin Pact. So the Indian National Congress and Irwin, the Britishers, they had an agreement together and they signed that agreement. So that is called as a Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Okay, so after this agreement, after this meeting held between Gandhi and Irwin, so for many things Gandhiji agreed as well as Irwin agreed. So those were, first one is Gandhiji said the civil disobedience campaign would end, then he would continue to peacefully support Indian goods while not threatening the sale of British products. So he will continue to support the Indian goods, but he will not oppose the sale of British products. And Gandhiji would participate in second roundtable conference in London. So these three were agreed by Gandhiji, and now we will see what are the points which was agreed by Irwin. Okay, so Irwin promised to future political changes would be in the Indians' interest. So later in the future, Indians can rule and it can be the political changes will be according to the Indians' interest. And he also accepted to release many prisoners, many Indian fighters, freedom fighters to release from the jail. So out of which 19,000 prisoners were released from the jails of India. Okay, and many properties which were owned by Britishers were decided to return to the owners itself, Indian owners itself, and many restrictions were relaxed by Irwin. So these are the major agreement which was signed by Gandhi and Irwin. So this is called as Gandhi-Irwin Pact and happened in the year 1931. Okay, next most important movement in Indian freedom fighting is the Quit India movement. So that is in the year 1942. So the Indian National Congress, they decided to start this major movement in the year 1942 on August 8th. So Gandhiji, he gave the slogan of do or die. So this was a famous slogan which was used by the Indians during that time for moving away the Britishers from India. So this movement continued till 1947 and till India got freedom in 1947 this movement continued. Indians didn't stop this movement and they did not forget this slogan do or die. They continued to fight against the Britishers in a non-violent way. So next, when we talk about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he was also one of the famous freedom fighter who fought for our country, and he was one of the main leaders also. So he was not following the non-violence method, but he thought violence only will help the Indians to move away the Britishers, to get away from India. Okay, so his famous slogans were Delhi Chalo, give me blood, I will give you freedom. So that was a famous slogan, which means only if you give blood, you can achieve your freedom. So that was the meaning of it. And he was put under arrest, house arrest by the Britishers. He escaped to Kabul, from where he then reached Italy. Kabul is a place in Afghanistan. Then through Kabul, he reached Italy, Germany, and then to Japan. So finally, he went to Japan. So he organized the Indian National Army, and his army reached Kohima in Nagaland. Okay, so many slogans were coined by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and here you can find one more slogan, that is India is calling, blood is calling to blood. Get up, we have no time to lose. Take up your arms. The road to Delhi is the road to freedom. Chalo Delhi, which means he is asking his fellow beings or the other freedom fighters to move to Delhi. So there is a place there only we need to fight against the Britishers, because the Britishers held up their office over there. So only if you go to Delhi and fight with the Britishers, after you give blood, only then we will attain freedom. So this was a famous saying by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, and finally the day arrived. Yes, On 15th August 1947, we got freedom. So this is a picture of a very old newspaper during that time on 15th August, and the heading is Birth of India's Freedom. So it's the Times of India newspaper. So there you can find the heading, Lord Mountbatten greets Pakistan. So only on 15th August, after independence, only these two countries, the Pakistan was a new country which was formed, and Lord Mountbatten was a general, a British general during the time we got independence. So he greets Pakistan. So this was a famous, proud moment for our own freedom fighters. And Jawaharlal Nehru, he was the first prime minister for our independent India, and you can find Rajendra Prasad, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He became the first president of India. So this is how we got independent children. And Muhammad Ali Jinnah, he was the founder of Pakistan. He was also a freedom fighter, and we have our own constitution. So constitution means everybody know it is rules. So the Indians ourselves, we wrote rules, and it was implemented on 26th January 1950. So that's why India became a republic on 26th January 1950. So from 1950, Dr. Rajendra Prasad became India's first president. Okay, so with this, part 2 has completed, children.